Hello, freak bitches. But it is interesting. I mean, it's like, it's the good aspects of it are, I'm sure, far outweigh the negatives. You know, most people are just enjoying themselves, meeting nice people, meeting like-minded people, traveling around. Like, my fear, obviously humor aside, but my fears are probably fairly unfounded, right? But isn't that kind of how it is with life? Like, most people that you meet, like the vast majority of people, are really pretty nice. Like, this is
well-intentioned.
Yeah, it's a really safe time to be a person. You know, I mean, almost all interactions you have with people on a daily basis are safe and fairly friendly. Even like rude people are like, what's the big deal? They say a word. You know, like
They're not going to harm you.
Yeah, almost nothing happens most of the time. But we're so obsessed with the news, where you tune in to, you know, any news channel, all you're getting is the collective bad news of 7 billion people, because that's what sells. If it bleeds, it leads. Run with it, Mike. And Mike runs with it. Yeah, you know, I mean, that's actually a very, when you really look at it that way, that's a very positive trend that people are doing this and hosting people.
Shared economy.
Yeah. That's really nice. You know, it's nice that people will offer up their couch for free.
Yeah. It's good stuff.
It is good stuff. So do you ever stop and think, like, what if I hadn't gone on this journey of exploration and I stayed an accountant, and you would be living that life of the droning existence where every day you just fucking showing up at the same place, and crunching numbers and hating life and wishing for some kind of adventure or something different?
No, I can't relate to that. I think no matter what, whether it was AT or something, I think I would have, you know, I'm too impatient, you know, I get bored too easily. Something, you know, I would have done something.
But a lot of people don't. A lot of people are like you, and they just never make that move. They never take that chance.
So yeah, I think when I talk to even a lot of my friends that are still doing, I'm not going to call them crappy jobs, but, you know, because I think they do provide a lot of things that they like. You know, security, you can't, some people love that security, like getting a paycheck, you know. But it's like, I don't think they view it like that. It's not like, oh, this may not be the best thing, but I like it. You know, it's not like, I don't know. It's like some people think this is so bad, or I just can't. I just have to. Like, I just don't think that threshold ever crosses most people, you know?
Yeah. Well, you know, people vary. You know, the personality types that go on that trail, I mean, that's like a very, very extreme personality type. But I think most people have a certain amount of, if not wanderlust, at least curiosity. It's just a matter of how much of it do you nurture? How much of that needed
do you feed?
Yeah.
Right?
There's also a real problem in not recognizing the finite nature of existence. You know, I mean, just when you're 20, especially, or 21, or whatever it is, when you enter into these jobs, you don't realize, like, hey man, you've only got like a few decades,
right,
of good times.
You could do this for 40 years, easily.
Oh, easily. And then we've all met those people that have done it for 40 years, and they're just beaten down by life, and they have that dull, desperate look in their eyes. It's just this sadness in their eyes, where their life is just, it's not good. It hasn't turned out well. There's not a lot of joy there.
Yeah, and hold on to the vacations big time.
Oh, you're scaring the shit out of me, Chris. Scaring the shit out of me. So you, in the middle of doing all this, right? So you do this, you go on this crazy 7-month adventure, and when it's over, what was that like? When you hit the end and you realize, is there like a bell you ring or anything like that? You should put a bell up there.
So I mean, going northbound, there's like this epic Mount Katahdin. It's like a beautiful big mountain, one of the most epic climbs. That's in Maine. So if you go south, you end in Georgia, and you end on Springer Mountain, which is just not as epic, not as dramatic. You know, you're right. So, but yeah, I mean, you finish it. There's just a plaque, and it's like, dude, you finished.
Really? And you touch the plaque? Do you have to touch it? What if you get right before it and you quit? It's like right before, like a foot before. Fuck this.
Just collapse.
Yeah, like 2 feet before the plaque.
Yeah, no, I'm good.
Does it count?
Yeah.
That's it.
So that's in Maine. That's the finish.
That's the finish.
And
Wow.
for northbounders.
How many people fake it? Take a picture of that. Dude.
You can go hike that in one day, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's. You would at least. I would probably do that. I'd go hike it in a day, and then get that weird feeling of watching these people that are covered in 2 inches of grime climb up that hill.
Can you pull up Springer?
Look at that guy.
Pull up
That
Springer
motherfucker. Look at that guy. That guy looks like he's been hiking for 7 months.
Hiker.
What's it called?
Springer Mountain.
Springer Mountain. Yeah.
Look at that guy's face. Jesus Christ. He's just all hair and. So
There you go. Yeah. That's the.
that's where it starts. Is that the gateway?
That's what's called the approach trail. It's not the. It's like.
I like how it has like an awning.
That's the actual plaque on the end, but that's not a great shot of it. There you go. That's it.
So that's where it starts.
Yep. That's
National Scenic Trail. Now, who established this?
So there's a guy named Benton Mackay.
Imagine trying to talk people into doing that with you. Like when you first started doing that, like what year did this guy do this?
I know these dates, but I don't think.
Take a
the
guess.
30s.
So imagine 1930s, fucking Great Depression, that old deal. Those are the people back then. And this guy says, "I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna walk all the way up to Maine, and I'm gonna start a whole movement. A bunch of other people are gonna do it as well." They're probably like, "Fuck you, dude.
And
Get a job, hippie."
Yeah, the CCC at the time was helping construct all the trails.
Look at that. Springer Mountain, Georgia, 8.5 miles. Mount, how to say it?
Katahdin.
Katahdin, Maine, 2,108.5 miles. Those 0.5 are a motherfucker. That last 0.5, oh. So when you did it and you touched the sign and you're like, all right, I did it.
I cried.
Did you?
I did. I literally collapsed.
Wow. Like you fell to your knees?
It was seriously one of the most emotional times of my life.
I
Like,
would imagine.
I was just, even like that morning I woke up and I was just like, oh my gosh, this is ending, It's like so much, just so long. I'd been thinking about it from, childhood, and then it was like not only thinking about it for, a decade, but then it was actually hiking the darn thing for 6 months. And it was just like getting there. It was like, by that time, like I had stress fractures forming in my feet and,
Really?
yeah, I was just in bad shape. I wasn't sleeping well because, at night it was getting down to 0 degrees every night and my sleeping bag was not cutting it. So I was just like, it was just a lot, man,
Stress fractures in your feet, huh?
Yeah, and I've had stress fractures from cross country in high school, so I knew what they felt like. I was like, this is coming. It's just a matter of time,